Hi, Linda Bowen here from StampingWithLinda.com, your cardiologist since 1997, helping you create cards from the heart. It is Tuesday, so Fun Fold, and today's Fun Fold I am showcasing the beautiful Galley Sweet Collection, which is part of a huge collection. It has two bundles, two stamp sets, and there's dies that go with this, and some very lovely designer series paper. Has a print on one side and a softer image on the back. So I've got a fun fold for you today using this collection. What we're going to start out with is a piece of mossy meadow. This measures 5.5 by 6 1/4, and along the 6 1/4 inch side, the longer side, we are going to score at 1 inch on both ends. I got 1 inch. We're going to flip it over and do 1 inch on this side. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in that 6 by 6 designer series paper. Now, this measures a 6 by 6, like I said, and what we are going to do is we are going to cut it along the bottom at 5 1/4 inches. And then we're going to cut it in half at the 3. You know, before we do that, what I'm going to do is I am going to go, no, never mind. I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to cut it in half at the 3 inch. I am going to take this piece and I'm going to grab my all around, no, they're around it all dies, and they are circle dies, but they're kind of off shaped, and so I really they're not an actual circle. I'm going to take the biggest one and I'm going to place it on my designer series paper, and I'm going to run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and cut that circle out, like I said, the bigger circle. There we go. Next, what I'm going to do is I am going to use, now the around it all dies are an online exclusive. I can actually use that circle that I cut out for another card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those two pieces of designer series paper and I'm going to use an online exclusive die, or excuse me, folder. This is called Plaster Paintings, and I'm going to do both of these designer series paper. I'm going to run them through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I really like the look of designer series paper when it has been embossed with the embossing folders, especially the 3D ones, because they really give you some depth. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but just gives a different look to that paper. And especially with this designer series paper, because it looks like a painting anyways, when you run it through this folder, it just makes it look like there is like a decoupage look to the paper. Very pretty. Okay, so now let's get started with our card. We're going to go back into that card base. And what we're going to do, I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. Looks like that needs some cleaning. And we are going to add adhesive to the one side. We want the piece that we cut the circle out with. And we are just going to add it to the side. I have one piece of, well, actually I got 2 pieces, but I'm only going to use the one right now. And this measures 1 inch by 5.5 in mossy metal. I've already embossed this. This is with the folder that is part of this suite collection. So we're just going to add an extra strip of adhesive so we make sure that it attaches to that designer series paper well. Now we're going to take the other flap, do the same thing, add our adhesive, see, I'm not getting as close as I wanted, so I'm going to put another strip down. We're going to fold it over like so because I want to make sure that I get the designer series paper so that it lines right up with the other piece well. Like so. Looks pretty good. Put that down. Grab my other piece of 1 inch by 5.5. Add some more adhesive to that. Now, the solid piece will go to the back. I have taken a smaller die and have used my mossy metal and have stamped the words. Again, these words are from that suite collection that has 2 different bundles to it. And we are going to add a dimensional to the back of that. Add that to the front. So we've got looking like that. Going to bring in a piece of Very Vanilla. Excuse me, this measures 4 inches by 5.25, and we are going to grab our flower from that set. And we're just going to stamp it in the mossy meadow down in the corner. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our Wink Stella and we are going to go in and color the center of that flower and the leaves. And we're coloring it with just the ink that was used to stamp those flowers, but our Wink Stella is going to pull that color out. So you have just a very easy way to color with your Wink Stella. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add that to the inside of our card. And there you have a very simple fun fold and a great way to use your 6x6 designer series paper and show it off because you're showing the inside of that paper also. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.